All right, let's do something a little different today. We're going to press pause on a single day in the future, January 11th, 2026, and pull apart four stories that, on the surface, seem to have nothing to do with each other. But you'll see how they connect consumer rights, ancient history, and global power in some pretty surprising ways. Okay, I know what you're thinking. That sounds like the start of a weird joke, right? Appliance ratings, a temple, a teacher, and rice. Seriously, what on earth could they possibly have in common? Well, that's exactly the puzzle we're going to solve today. Each piece has its own fascinating story, but when you put them together, they show us something much, much bigger.
So, first up, let's talk about something that hits close to home. Your power bill. A really big change is coming to how we think about the energy our appliances use.
You know those little star rating stickers you see on your AC, your fridge, your TV? We all do. They're supposed to help us make smarter choices, save a little money, and use less energy. But here's the thing. What happens when that sticker is, well, lying? What if the appliance actually uses way more power than it claims? Until now, the answer was, not a whole lot.
So why is this such a huge deal? Well, for the very first time, the government is putting some real teeth into these ratings. We're talking penalties. If a manufacturer is dishonest about an appliance's energy use, there are now actual financial consequences. This is a game changer. It takes that little sticker from a friendly suggestion and turns it into a promise that's backed by law. It's all about accountability.
Now, to be clear, this whole star rating thing isn't new. It's all part of the Energy Conservation Act from way back in 2001, and it's run by the Bureau of Energy Efficiency. It covers more than 40 different types of appliances, especially the ones that use a ton of power. The goal has always been to help us, the consumers, and to cut down on energy waste. But without any real enforcement, it was more of a guideline than a hard rule. These new penalties, they finally give the whole program some serious bite.
Okay, so from a forward-looking policy, we're going to jump way back in time, 1,000 years actually. We're shifting gears from modern-day rules to a piece of ancient history that still has a powerful echo today.
Let's talk about the Somnath Temple. I mean, if you want a story of resilience, this is it. This place has been destroyed and rebuilt over and over again. It was first attacked way back in 1026 AD. Fast forward to 1947, right after independence, and one of the first orders of business was to rebuild it. By 1951, the country's first president was there for the rededication ceremony. So 2026 is a huge milestone. It marks exactly 1,000 years since that very first major attack.
This quote just says it all, doesn't it? The temple isn't just an old building. For modern India, it's become this incredible symbol. It represents a faith that couldn't be broken, a resilience that endured through centuries of conflict, and a nation's deep commitment to reviving its own cultural heritage.
From the story of a place, let's turn to the story of a person. A woman who was an absolute trailblazer, completely changing the game for education and social reform back in the 19th century. This is Savitribai Phule, and her title, wow, India's first woman teacher. Just let that sink in for a second. In an era when the very idea of education for girls was unthinkable for most, she didn't just push boundaries, she completely demolished them. And her legacy is just this incredible list of firsts. I mean, check this out. She became the headmistress of the nation's very first school for girls, but she was just getting started. She then founded an organization to fight for women's rights. After that, she started a home to prevent infanticide. And on top of all that, she promoted marriages that were free from the burden of dowries. Every single one of these actions was absolutely radical for her time. She was a true revolutionary.
All right, for our last piece of the puzzle, we're zooming out, way out, from the impact of one person to something on a massive global scale. Let's talk about a food that literally feeds billions of people.
Just look at this number. 150 million tons. That's roughly how much rice India produces every single year. It's an almost unimaginable amount, and it makes India the biggest producer on the planet.
And what happens to all that rice? Well, get this. Over 20 million metric tons of it gets shipped out of the country. This means India isn't just the biggest producer, it's also the world's #1 rice exporter, playing a massive role in global food security.
So how does this all happen? Well, the powerhouse states are places like Uttar Pradesh and Punjab. They've got the perfect growing conditions. From there, a lot of that rice heads to markets in West Asia and Africa. But what's really exciting is the innovation piece. The fact that 184 new high-yield seeds have been released, that signals a huge push to grow even more and adapt to whatever the future holds.
Okay, so
We've looked at appliance regulations, a 1,000-year-old temple, a revolutionary social reformer, and a whole lot of rice. 4 totally separate stories happening on the same day. Now, let's connect the dots.
This brings us right back to our original question. What's the common thread here? How can these 4 different snapshots possibly tell one single coherent story about a country at a specific point in time?
Well, here's how it all clicks into place. The new penalties for appliances? That's about governance, a country making smart policies for its people and its future. The story of Somnath, that's the powerful echo of history, showing how the past is still very much alive and shaping identity today. Savitribai Phule's incredible legacy, that's a timeless lesson in individual impact, proof that one person can truly change the world. And finally, the rice statistics, that's undeniable economic power on the world stage.
And that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. We have pieced together the story of a single day and found these bigger themes running through it. So it makes you wonder, right? 100 years from now, in 2026, when someone looks back at our time, what story will our seemingly random everyday events tell them about who we were?